Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, back to the Lakers. So the Lakers have waived Sekou Doumbouya and are bringing back Chaundee Brown, or bringing him up from the South Bay Lakers. I believe that's what we're doing. I did a video on Chaundee Brown in the off season when we first signed him as a undrafted rookie. So you guys go check that out, and you can find a in-depth breakdown of who he is as a player to the best of my ability that night. So, I did a little homework and kind of watched somebody's YouTube videos and ran over here and told you what they said. So that's what I got for you basically. But Chaundee Brown is somebody who can definitely help us rebounding the ball, physical guy, play some defense. If I remember correctly, rebounded the ball very well. So yeah, my memory isn't great, but that video I think will do the job for you. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, for me, I would have liked for us to keep Sekou. I think Sekou is a player who could play some defense. He has a lot of athleticism, power forward. He's jumping around the league a lot. I don't know what the issue is, why he's not connecting. But what I've seen from him out there, I was happy with. I didn't think he was a detriment to what we were doing out there. In fact, I wanted him to get more minutes. So this is something that I'm wondering about. Um, I didn't have anything negative to say about Chaundee. I don't remember in terms of his summer league play or anything like that. I don't think he did anything that made me say no, he shouldn't be out there or nothing like that. Um, I think that we had a lot of guys that I thought could help us. There were several of them, and he was one of them. So I think he'll do just that. Um, so yeah, hopefully Sekou finds his way in this league, man. I just don't know why it's not connecting. I don't know what the lack of connection is. It has to be something, because I don't see it in his play. I really don't. Um, but then again, when it comes to these Lakers in this particular era, I just think that a lot of people come here and they don't play as well. And I've sounded off about the offense a lot today. I'm not going to get into that right now. You already know how I feel. Vogel and all of that, but um, when we're lacking athleticism, we're lacking defense, you just want to make sure that you're not letting that walk out the door. And I think that's what the Lakers essentially may have done today. But bringing back Chaundee Brown, like I said, that's a prospect we like. That's a prospect we've had in-house. I think we've done a good job developing players in-house. So obviously they like what they see, and they think he can help us right now. So I'm definitely for that. So hopefully Chaundee Brown can get some minutes out there and get the most out of those minutes, and help us with some youthfulness that we ultimately need. Um, yeah, I would have liked to have waived someone else instead of Sekou, and I can think of a few people that we can waive, and I'm sure you can as well. But it is what it is. Lakers got to do more than just this. They have to find a way to get more out of the roster that we have. And I would not be mad at the Lakers for making a few small deals, something, anything, something. I don't quite know what's the best way to approach it. In my mind right now, I'm thinking about things that probably aren't necessarily going to help us this season, in terms of, to further explain the thought, I am always of the mindset that the Lakers need to try to get some type of flexibility. And I'm not saying this season is lost by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just not so certain that anything that we have can get us anything that's going to help us. But if we couple some of what we have, we may be able to string together a second round pick, or some flexibility, and that's what ultimately we need. Some cap space. We need some cap relief, any and everywhere we can find it. And of course, Genie and the gang are going to have to pay luxury tax, and that's something I know they'll be up for. But we just need the cap flexibility. That's the most important thing. We just got to be able to get some more talent on the floor, particularly at this point, some guys who can cut, really, really specialize in cutting, flashing to the basket, playing off the ball. You know what type of player I would love for us to have, even though this person is long retired? Like a Kevin Martin type. Y'all remember that dude with that funky shot? But he would always play so well off the ball. You run off his screens, darting all over the place, never stood still. Rip Hamilton, that type of guy. The Lakers need somebody like that. Because what I see is a lot of jump shooters who have older legs who really don't want to move too much. And even though we have an offense that makes it so that guys basically have to stand around a lot, when they do move, they're not cutting hard enough. I want to see guys flashing, cutting left and right. Those are the type of players that Russell Westbrook thrive playing with. Just off the top of my mind, I think of a guy like Hamidou Diallo in Detroit. He played with OKC. Probably played with Russell Westbrook. I don't know if their times intertwined at all, but he just flashes to mind because of what he does, his athleticism, how quick I've seen him move to the basket, how quick he tends to play, and the pace that he plays with. Derrick Jones Jr. in Chicago, he's another one. Those are the type of players that I look at and say, they can play at that quick twitch pace that Russell Westbrook needs to be able to play play at. I don't know that a lot of our athletes on our team can do that right now. Maybe we can get a little more athletic at the center position. I look at DJ. I look at Dwight. Dwight holds some value. I would never want to trade Dwight, but he's not really playing that great for us. He does have some value. We can get an asset, some flexibility if we were to relinquish his services. Now, that is not something I want to do. But you got to start looking for creative ways of creating cap space at this point. We are so very, very cap strapped. So those are the type of things that's what's on my mind. Like if I'm a GM, I'm trying to get creative now. Now I'm thinking about, okay, who in the G League can play the type of way we need to play? Who is a guy we can bring up? Like bringing up Chaundee Brown, maybe that's the answer. Like that's the type of things we need to be doing. That's why I'm not so upset about it. What type of trade can we get? What type of value can we get for Kent Bazemore? I know he's struggling. I know he's long in the tooth. Does he have any value at all? That's what I'm thinking about. Where's Jay Huff? Call him up. He's a three-point shooter. I know that he likes to play around the perimeter a lot. Yeah, I think of him as like he's going to develop into a Mike Muscala type of guy, but taller. I'm thinking a guy like, I haven't seen a lot of him play, but I'm assuming his prototype, judging by what I've seen, is like a player who can do that kind of thing, a Channing Frye type of guy, something like that. We can use that, even though he has long arms, but and doesn't necessarily play in the paint. But the fact that he has those long arms and is active with his hands defensively means that he can help us not only in stretching the floor, but he can help us with our defense. I think we need to see where he's at with his conditioning and maybe start giving him some minutes just off the prototype of the player that he is. Even though we're a little three-point eccentric, at this point I would love to see what he and AD would look like together based on their length and Huff's youth. So it's just certain things that that's what I mean by Frank Vogel needs to be switched out, and that's why I'm always saying what I'm saying about him is because these are the type of things that I want to see a coach try. Like we're struggling to hell. LeBron James is out. Sekou Doumbouya just got waived. I would have probably played him 20 plus minutes. He probably wouldn't have gotten waived because he would have been in regular rotation for me. To be completely honest with you, I would have had him out there more so just to help us rebounding and be more athletic in the 4 spot. I would even had him in the 5 spot for some of those small ball lineups. So it's just certain things that you got to try that we weren't trying. Instead, we're going out there running Wayne Ellington. Wayne's not helping us defensively, man. If he's not shooting like he was when he was hitting 4 threes and not missing, he's not helping you. Love him to death. Great guy. He's not helping you. Same thing with Kent Bazemore. We like Kent Bazemore when he's on, but when he's off, not helping. Rondo, love him to death. This stage, if he's not on, he's off. And it's like we have too many players like that. We don't have a field of teams that would allow us to get away with that. When you go up against just even the lesser teams in the league, they have too many young players. You're not gonna get away with it. And I think the Nets ran into something like that tonight with the Golden State Warriors. They got too many young players for you to be trying to run out there with some of the players that they have. I wanted to name them off, but what's the point? The point is, it's older bodies are going to have a tough time going up against you younger guys in this era because there's more of them than y'all. It's that simple. You're going in the past, like Michael Jordan and Kobe and them, they go up against maybe 4 young teams. The rest of the teams are older teams. A lot of those teams only go like 7 deep. You know what I mean? That's not what we're dealing with in the NBA right now. Most of the all-star teams going to be a bunch of guys that are under 25 years old, man. So it's just a different league, and if you don't have youth and you don't have certain things, just in general, size, shooting, etc., facilitating, you're not going to win. Yeah, you're not going to win. And, I'm trying to figure out how the heck we can get that stuff before it's too late. And there are ways. That's the thing. If you're creative enough, which I pride myself in being, I can fix this. Like, I can fix this. But I'm not a GM. I'm not a GM, man. And the fact of the matter is, I don't have our books laid out flat in front of us. I don't have our 10-year plan in mind. I don't, there's a lot of things that go into this. It's not as simple as just trying to make your team better this year. And so, I respect that. And I just sit back and let the Lakers, let them be the billionaires that they are and figure this thing out. But as a fan, I'm like, man, LeBron James' tenure, we got to salvage that. Even if he chooses to be here through the tough times, we got to try to make sure those aren't tough times. We just came out of tough times. One championship is not what we did all this for. We did not give away all those future all-star kids for one single championship and a struggling 4-year deal with Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry. We didn't do that. Now, I'm not going to say it wasn't worth it, because 2020 was worth it. We definitely love that banner. God bless Kobe Bryant and Gigi and everyone who lost, man. That meant something to everybody in sports, let alone us. But let's just be real. That's not the only thing we did all this for, man. We want multiple championships. We want multiple opportunities at it. And right now, that ring is very, very far away from us. That 19th championship. 18th, excuse me. Yeah, we're in trouble with that. We're in trouble with that. So, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna try to get better, or are we just gonna sit here and hope things get better? Stay the course, because I'm telling you, in normal situations, when the field is average, staying the course and waiting to make it work, yeah, that works. But when everyone around you is like a rocket ship with full engines, and you're sitting up here with your little putt, yeah, no, your confidence is it's the pride before the fall, my friend. You're going down with the ship. So if that's what we're gonna be, we can be the great purple Titanic. That's what we can be. I don't think that's what the Lakers intended when they put this team together. So I suggest they do what they need to do to unravel the mistakes that were made. And I'll say this as well, as I've alluded to before. LeBron James is trying to fight the ghost of Michael Jordan by trying, in my humble opinion, to put together unorthodox fits that will make it so that it looks as if he took more difficult paths to championship glory, being that Michael Jordan has an unblemished, perfect record. It seems to me that he's making life harder for himself than he has to. And we're suffering for it as fans. And, if he can pull it together, voila, it's great for everybody. But if he can't, then it's just another loss to his record and another loss to ours. And I just feel like at some point in time, you got to tell LeBron James, more difficult paths is not going to get you any closer to the ghost of Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan's mystique had a lot to do with the times he was in. That's what people, and you my age, you know that. Michael Jordan in this era would not necessarily play the same way, because the game wouldn't dictate him to be able to do so. The game's more so catered to your style, which is passing and all different types of scoring is a secondary nature. So he would be looked at as a ball hog in this era. Hell, he was looked at as a ball hog in his era. So it would really be difficult for him and Kobe and guys like that to make it right now without incorporating the pass into their game. I think those who are beholding the greatness of LeBron James right now, and those who remember the greatness of Michael Jordan, a lot of us can't seem to understand the differences in the circumstances from which these two players played, and why comparing the two don't make any sense at all. First of all, LeBron James has never had the type of coaching that Michael Jordan was afforded his entire career. I mean, he was coached by great guys. Even before Phil Jackson got there, he had Doug Collins, real good coach. So it's not like Michael was struggling for what it is he needed to find to get winning basketball around him. It kind of just came his way, and he obviously was greatness and able to carry it. But you know, he didn't have to look for that. LeBron James had to search for tutelage and how to win. He had to search for a championship caliber situation. He's looking. He's constantly trying to find his best situation. And most importantly, he's also trying to maintain his flexibility. You know, not getting himself locked into a contract that ultimately will have him in a situation like some of these other guys who want out of these contracts. He saw the lay of the land, understood the science of the cap space and understanding how he fit in it, and made sure that he kept his flexibility. So that kept him on different teams and stuff like that. Michael Jordan didn't move that way. That wasn't even Michael Jordan's way of approaching the business. So trying to compare the two, or for LeBron to try to chase his ghost, it's like, bro, you were swinging it air, man. It's impossible. Stop trying to make the game harder for yourself to make a better case for yourself. And just continue to apply yourself to championships. Just get easy ones. Look at KD. His 2 rings are going to matter. They're going to matter. And I ain't saying those are easy rings, but they were. He played with Steph Curry. We see what Steph's doing right now. It ain't going to matter as long as you just win them. Just pack up the rings, bro. Get the easy fit. I don't think Russell Westbrook's here because he thought Russell Westbrook would be the easiest player to play with. I think he thought Russell would do this, and I think he thought he would be able to overcome it. And we would say he's better than Mike because, see, he did what KD couldn't do. He won with this flawed player. The worse Russell plays, the better it is for Bron's legacy. Do you guys understand what I'm saying to you? Do you understand the twisted nature of what it is I'm explaining to you? We brought this fit here just to help him have this difficulty. And ultimately fight this demon that is Michael Jordan, this ghost. So, I don't know. I just feel like we need to kind of shake a loose from that and just bring a team to him that's going to ultimately make it easier for him to win. Because that's ultimately what he needs at this age. He cannot carry teams like he did when Clarkson and Larry Nance were in the finals with him. He can't do that no more. And when he goes out, we're stuck with this weird fit that we've concocted so that he can have this nonsense go on. Like that's what I see here. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know if anybody else realizes that, but that's the only logic that applies to putting together these unorthodox fits. Even last year's fit was unorthodox. It really was. Undersized centers, non-defensive centers like Schroeder. A lot of stuff that we put down there was like we could have made life so much easier for ourselves. And then him coming here the first year, when there was nobody here, when there was no AD, we were running around with Lonzo before he had the shot, B.I. before he became an all-star. That was a difficult path, man. He didn't have to go that route. And so all I'm saying is, Bron, to me, appears like he would prefer it to be more difficult. And so that's why I also feel like it makes a whole lot of sense for me to propose that we trade Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons. Because it ain't going to be easy if we bring Ben Simmons in. No, sir, that will not be easy. That will be very difficult. That's going to be hard as heck. But I think it'll be better for us. Because at the end of the day, Russell is an older guy, man. Even if he's playing great, he's an older guy. And, when you're talking about what we're talking about, at the end of the day, we need younger players to help move us in the future, move us into the future. And I hate to say this, but AD is about the oldest 28-year-old I've seen in a while. I mean, in terms of how he moves. He moves like he's 33. He moves like he's 34. You know what I mean? And I just feel like he needs youthfulness around him. I think part of the reason why he's looking so old is because he's surrounded by old dudes. If he played for a younger team, his attitude would be different. And that's something that I think LeBron needs to take a look at as well. You know, the fit that you've put together for yourself that ain't really a fit at all. How is it affecting your co-star there? They don't look like he having a whole lot of fun right now. He's saying that we playing about as bad as, you know, we can't win a championship, we suck. I don't know that he's saying that would be any different if you were on the floor or not. And that's important. That's an important thought. It's like, and it's not to say that you can't win with you in 2022. That's stupid. I'm not saying that he thinks that. But what I'm saying is, this team, even with you, we probably suck. Even with LeBron James, we probably can't win. And it's because of the unorthodox of this fit. You know, and because of the stagnation of the offense and because of the ineptitude of the defense. So, it is what it is. You know, you got to make some changes. And so that's what I'm here to say. That's all there is to it, really. I've been on that kick for the last 24 hours. I've been telling y'all that we need to start offering up Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons and fire Frank Vogel and make some changes. Get some personnel changes in here immediately. And if we can't do that, then we need to start figuring out how we can create some flexibility so that we can make it so that we can get those things next year. So we don't find ourselves in this situation next year where the only type of pieces we can put around these guys are some of the same type of pieces we put around them this year. Because this ain't acceptable. The roster is too old. They don't have enough versatility. They don't have enough shooting the ball. And, you know, we don't have enough facilitating when LeBron James sits down. Not enough reliable facilitating. You know, so there are a lot of things we need to do, and I think we can do those things if we just get creative. You know, and scout some of these players on the back of these benches that are not playing, that have low value. What did I say about Mo Bamba 2 years ago? Was it a year ago? It was a year ago. If anybody's been following me that long, that closely, you know that I was saying we needed to get Mo Bamba when he was averaging 5 points and 5 rebounds. I said we need to get him. Like, there was a rumor out there that we could trade, I don't know, 2 pennies and a poodle for the man because he wasn't doing nothing. He was injured. And I was like, listen to me. This is a guy who can shoot the three and has some of the longest arms ever recorded. That alone is a reason to bring him in. Just like I'm saying about Huff, Bamba's that. You know what I mean? And he was 6th pick overall, so you know he has upside out of this world. And the only thing that's kept him from really playing well is the fact they kept putting centers in front of him. So I figured, hey, if you buy low, you go get this guy right now, you'll have what it is that he ultimately became for the Orlando Magic this season, which is a borderline all-star. That's the type of creativity we need to get. You need to find the next Mo Bamba. You know, we're talking about this crypto thing. Everybody's going around looking for the next meme coin, the next big coin, but you want to get in early. You don't want to get it when it's already up 300%. You want to catch that thing right away. Sooner the better. That's the name of the game. Has to be the same thing for basketball players, especially when you're in the situation the Lakers are in, the Warriors are in, the Nets are in. When you have these big-time stars eating up most of your cap space, you can't bring in some of the guys we brought in. I'm not going to say their names. But you can't bring them names in and think you're going to compete. No. Because you need those stars that you have to be healthy all year long, and our stars are older. So chances are they're not going to do that. You got to have youthfulness and players who can hold their weight. And the only way you can do that is by putting yourself in a position to be able to inherit that stuff. And that's through draft picks, I'm telling you. 2nd round picks, you pile them up, you couple them up, and you get these role players. You get these young players, you get these Mo Bambas before they become the Mo Bambas. You find these guys. And there's a million of them. That's the thing. Dudes on the back of benches that are not playing right now. I can build a whole team, a good team off of guys on the back of these benches that just aren't getting any playing time, man. That's it. Think about Trey Murphy. Think about Troy Brown. Think about Langford. There's so many different guys. Book Knight over in Charlotte. Young rookie. I could put together a real team. I kid you not. I just want the Lakers to just step outside of all of this nonsense and just lean on young Bus, our scout, and let him help us find the players that'll get us in this situation, because he's the one with the talent in that way. Let him get you the guys you need over the next couple years, because that's the only way that we're going to make this thing work. If we don't trade Russell Westbrook and we're not going to get rid of Frank Vogel, this season is a wrap. So we got to start getting those assets for next season, period. Let's be real with y'all. I'm already thinking about next season, because I just don't feel like they're going to stop the bleeding like I would if I were a GM. So, hope I haven't bored you guys to death with my mumbling. I thank y'all for watching. Hopefully the Lakers can pull it together. I'm out. BDF. Peace.